price index, of course, is going to be huge. The month-over-month number, as expected, up 0.8%. The high water mark here was actually up 0.9. So we have a bit of a reprieve there. If you strip out the all-important food and energy, exactly as expected, up 0.5. That also has had a high water mark of up 0.9. That was all the way back in April of last year. Now we get to the money numbers year over year. As expected, it's 7.9% for year-over-year inflation, following 7.5 that could get revised. 7.9, we go to the Wayback Machine to find a higher level of inflation. You're looking at 8.4% in June of 82 as your comp, and on the year-over-year ex-food and energy, known as core, exactly as expected, up 6.4%. Of course, 6% is in the rearview mirror. That still may get revised. 6.4%, well, that comps to the same as the 6%, 1982, August of 82, when it was 7.1%. Now, on initial jobless claims, we're expecting a number right around 217,000. Well, 227,000 is the number from a slightly revised 216,000, so it's up 11,000. Remember, the post-COVID low going all the way back into those wild 60s was 188,000. That was back in December, I believe the first week in December. And finally, continuing claims, always a week in arrears. This is February 26. 1,494,000, and that sequentially follows the slightly revised 1,469,000. The low water mark there was a couple weeks ago at 1,474,000. So these are good numbers. Maybe continuing claims isn't as good or initial claims, but they're still very good numbers. The big news obviously continues to be the push and pull of geopolitics into a treasury market, much more, at least price-wise and statistically concerned with what's going to happen on March 16th, the upcoming beginning of a tightening cycle, already telegraphed to supposedly be 1/4 of a point. And, of course, this inflation news is going to be tough for the administration. Nothing, Joe, nothing has been more politicized than inflation. Just let's hearken back to all the things we've been through. First, it was transitory. Then, inflation is good. Then we went to corporate greed. Now we're at Putin. Listen, it's probably all the above, but no matter how you slice it, it's all about commodities for the most part. And king commodity is energy. And most people in the United States are reminded of that about what? Every 3 to 4 days when they go fill up their tanks. Back to you.
It is becoming very apparent to all of us, I think, at this point. It's out there.
Good morning, 10:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast in the United States of America. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, everybody who tuned in live last night at 12 a.m. to about 2, just over 2-hour live stream. It was on fire. We were really on top of the market, and we understood the market setup and why it was very dangerous to buy with what was going on. We had some targets that we were looking at, 0625, 0620, and 0610, but they all broke on Casper, so now we have to find the proper footing before we were even attempted to make a swing with what I seen with the CPI, 7.9, inflation going way up. March 16th, we've got what we got going on. We've got the DXY starting to move back up to 98.30. So we had a nice pump yesterday in crypto and some of it, but we went down to 97.73. Now the DXY starting to gain some steam here. We got topside of the 20-day. We look to be coming up for a retest right here, and if we can get topside here at 98.46, this could be a pump back up here, and it's going to be an issue. You got the US 10 years all the way up to, wow, 2% now. Been on a tear. got back all those losses. You've got crude oil at 107.23. You've got gold at 19.94. You've got silver at 25.93. And there's a lot of things going on here as well. We got a lot of stuff going on. We've got the total crypto market cap down 5.15% at 1.71 trillion. Been very volatile. Every time it gets up to the 20-day, it gets rejected in the 4-hour, which is very bearish. We started a bullish divergence, but came through as a fake out. So, and we also did create a bullish divergence in the 4-hour lead way back in the pattern. It looked like we were going to try to attempt that again, but it came down very quickly. We got rejected by the 200-day in the 4-hour time frame, and now we've got a little bit of an issue this morning. Even if you were to jump in Casper right now, there's no upside as of where it's gone. Even though we talked about it a lot yesterday, Bitcoin's at 39,170, down 6.62%. And right now we're fighting with the very key resistance or support at 38,915, but it's only held on wick pull down, so it hasn't technically broke. But it's getting closer and closer in the 30-minute segments because we keep getting beaten down by the 20-day. And the more you get beaten down by that, the more this looks like that could be a right shoulder. If this were to pull down past the accumulation zone. If this pulls down, we're coming down to 34,335. But I think we have a target where X marks the spot if we do break down from here. And yes, it's a lofty target. But if we were to break down, I think X marks the spot right here. And that's where we're going to end up. I really do. We wrote this out a while ago. The first time I thought our bounce would be at the top of that part of the wedge, or the down channel. This time I think our next bounce would come at this part of the down channel if we were to hold it at 30,991. That's the next natural progression of if we fail this, the next progression would be down to here. So that's what we're watching because that's very clearly what could be happening. So we have to be, pay attention, be attentive. XRP, we talked about how it could come down to 72.2. And it did. It came down to 72.2. That's why I told everybody yesterday, don't buy till it gets down to proper levels. Unfortunately, it doesn't look great. It tried to have a little roll up, back up. But the 20-day keeps rejecting us in the 30-minute. The buyback volume was atrocious. So, we go into the 4-hourly. Because we're trying to find immediate patterns here so that, do we buy in, do we not? And look, I had that downward move, push up. It never even got up past 77. It got rejected at the 77,469. So could that have been a little fake out to the top side? It very well could have been because, guys, in the 4-hourly, this is a sneaky failed cup and handle. What just happened here? So if it pulls down here, it's coming down. And it's going to break out of this consolidation range. So we have to be very careful today. I personally have chosen to take $1,000 out of my Uphold, and I'm going to buy silver with it. So now I'm going to leave myself $5,000. Maybe a tiny bit more than $5,000, but you know what I mean. So that would be $2,000 in the last 3 weeks that I've taken out of my crypto because of the volatility. And what a great move it was a couple weeks ago to buy the silver. But I've been buying silver for the last 3 years, so down to $15, up to where it's at now. Maybe a little higher at some points. So this is a day of reckoning right now because everything's pointing to the fact that it's going to be very difficult unless we can get some volume spikes. But even when we got a nice 30-minute candle here, it got eaten up before the 30-minute candle was even done, and it turned out to be a fake out. So if this goes to the right, if that ends up being the right shoulder, this is going to come down hard. And we have to be careful and be aware that this can happen today at any time. With the CPI coming out like it did, it's no coincidence that all these are below the resistance support lines, getting rejected by the 20-day and the 30-minute time frame. All of these look like they want to collectively come down. The DXY is going up. So I would say yesterday was a little bit of a bullish sentiment. Today's very bearish. These look like head and shoulder patterns. And we're just going to have to be careful. I don't want anybody to get stuck in this. You can see the top in reversals like it's a right shoulder. And these are going to come down very far. Let's finish this. Let's finish the CPI talk and then consider joining Tom's Army, $9.99 a month. Get the exclusive Telegram. It's the only way to get the Telegram is if you join Tom's Army for $9.99 a month. And then by joining Tom's Army for $9.99 a month, I give you this for free. And then I will be doing classes Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't have to be there live. But all I ask at the end of the hour is a $5 donation. But the only way to get the classes is to be a part of the Telegram. And the only way to get the Telegram is to join Tom's Army for $9.99 a month. Stay blessed, everybody.
To all of us, I think at this point, it's out there. It's out there. Rick, Steve Leisman joins us now with more. Hey, Steve.
Joe, I want to give you a headline here. The Bank for International Settlements, this is the central bank for central banks, has suspended Russia right now. You may not remember, but a couple weeks ago, I did point out that the BIS was a potential way around Russian, U.S. sanctions and Western sanctions against Russia. It had something like 25 billion in reserves in there. After I reported that, the BIS clarified that it would not be a way to circumvent the sanctions. Now it has suspended Russia from all services, including settlement, and meetings and other activities for Russia. You have to be very bad to get kicked out of the BIS because they tolerate an awful lot, try to be neutral in all situations. I think they only used to kick out people who are under UN sanctions, so that's a big deal. On the inflation front, no good news. Food up 1%, likely to go higher. I am still struck by the conversation I had with the economics minister of Ukraine earlier this week, where he told me that this is the planting season in Ukraine, and if it's not planted now, it's not coming, and that a lot of the land that they farm there is in places where there's military activity. Food away from home a little bit better, 0.4. Apparel up strong. Gas up 6.6% now. Estimates are that it goes up 20% in the next month. Apparel up 0.7%. Also, with this whole idea of prices are rising, we were not in a good place going into this inflation-wise. We will be in a worse place, at least in the months ahead, Joe.